Welcome to the Give Yourself Permission podcast. This is your host, Jen Cannon. I am so excited to take this journey with you. In this show, we'll share how to evolve as a spiritual being while remaining human. We'll learn powerful tools and methods to rewire the brain, heal energy blocks, tap into our intuition, and be our own healers. We'll bring on experts in the field to answer the questions that keep us up at night. And I'll be adding plenty of solocasts so I can share what's worked based on personal experience. All while learning how to write our own permission slip to find our innate wholeness and create a life that's in alignment with our soul's expression. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Whatever beliefs you hold, your ego will make sure that that is created, right? So you are the god of your own kingdom, your own queendom. On a micro scale, your universe is very much supported by the ego. Now, this means the ego is not all bad, and I hope that we have gotten to this point where we're not trying to kill our ego anymore. And listen, that's where I started when I first woke up on the spiritual journey and I was learning about ego and all it does to work against us. It was like, oh my gosh, just overcome the ego, separate, be the observer, be the witness. The ego can very much serve us. In fact, it's keeping us contained in this physical form. It's keeping us in this human body. And that's a beautiful, delightful thing, let me remind you, because the body has the ability to experience this reality. That means you get to go out and play and experience yourself and the world. And that's so joyous. I mean, it can suck and be really painful, but think of all the pleasure that comes with being on this earth. I mean, being able to listen to good music or listen to good podcasts, right? Shameless plug, I know. What about dancing? What about moving in the body? What about yoga? It feels so good to open the body, to open the muscles. And, even just going into a hot tub and feeling that sensation, the warm bath on your skin. How about tasting, right? We can get into all the senses here. We can taste the most delicious foods. I think about biting into a juicy dragon fruit. If you've never had the experience or pleasure of biting into a ripe, bright pink dragon fruit, your life will never be the same once you do, I'm telling you. And what about sight? Seeing a beautiful, beautiful flower, seeing a beautiful smile on someone you love. How about when you walk past a really captivating person, you catch their eye? That is a sensation that you get to experience through being grounded here in this 3D physical reality, which your ego supports. I cannot discount the ego, and neither can you. We don't want to, my loves. We don't want to. We just have to learn how to make it our friend and not be living in the subconscious or the unconscious. There's really two selves if you look at it this way. There's the high self, there's the light-bodied self, there's the conscious, aware self, and then there's the shadow self. And whether we like it or not, we have both sides to us. Even if we didn't go through extreme trauma in childhood or anything like that, we still have the shadow. We still have triggers. We still have things that we filtered from our experience that maybe didn't filter properly. So what I'm saying is at the time you witnessed or experienced or learned of something, you input it into your system and it kind of like malfunctioned, right? Almost like a computer virus. And it's gotten held in your cells and in your body. And you've carried it with you, and we create this baggage surrounding it, and that's the veil that we walk through life with, right? So they say at 4 years old, 4 years old is really the time where you're not conditioned. In fact, they say this, I learned this in yoga, my teacher training, that 4 years old is about the time before the spine has any pressures on it, right? So think about the spine and think about gravity and how much weight we put on the spine, right? If you have a healthy spinal cord, you have a healthy body, healthy physical body. and you can create a healthier, happier reality for yourself because you have that flexibility to twist and bend and move, and you have the agility, right? So 4 years old is right around that time where you're not really conditioned. The spine is not really conditioned, and neither are you. However, right around the time where experts are saying it's 7 or 8, I've also heard anywhere from 0 to 25, we're really in our subconscious mind. So that means everything that we're learning, we're inputting into the subconscious, which is what is controlling 95% of our existence, right? There's the subconscious and the conscious mind. The conscious mind is the one that we really are trying to live from. However, we're not. We're living in the subconscious mind because, again, that's where all the storage is. That's where all of our data is. And if we have a limited belief about ourselves, that is going straight into what forms our identity. And when we form our identity from a limiting belief, let's give a very common example. You might have heard this before. Your parents saying, money doesn't grow on trees. Or something along those lines, right? Creating lack and limitation. I know it happened to me. I know it happened to me, my loves, and it's probably happened to you, and it's okay. And it's not our fault when we have a limited belief. It's certainly not our fault when we have trauma. Don't ever let anyone say it's your fault. Yet it is our responsibility and it is our opportunity. That's the word I'm looking for. It is our opportunity, especially in this time, space, reality, our current, present existence, like never before people are waking up. There are more resources. The internet has such a vast amount of resources. There are experts everywhere that we can connect to on social media. We can send them a message. We send them a comment and they can respond and reply. Oh my gosh. We have so much information at our fingertips to help us shift through these wounds. And let's not even call them wounds. Help us shift our vibration so that we can match and be a vibrational match to a higher frequency, as in we can attract what we actually want in life. Because here's a little secret, and I didn't know this until I went into a coffee shop in Bali and read it in a book that was sitting there. And it was saying, we all hear about law of attraction. Most people cannot or are not even vibrating high enough, in a high enough frequency to attract what they want. So their manifestations are coming from the subconscious mind. Do you understand what that means? That's hard to wrap your head around, but it's basically saying, like, you need to shift your paradigm still. Like, you're not playing big enough. You're learning a little bit of it. You're dabbling. You're getting your toes in the water. You know, maybe you're meditating. Maybe you try to meditate 10 minutes a day. Maybe you slip up sometimes. But are you truly committed? Are you truly committed to growth and truly committed to change? Because that's what is going to be the key to increasing your vibration and your frequency. And here's the thing. I get it, right? I am starting this podcast. I'm speaking from my truth. So I've been there, and I'm by no means a guru, but something I have learned throughout this whole self-study, self-evolution journey is that things get trapped inside the body. Things get stored inside the body. So if we feel at a very basic level, if we feel like we're contracted and we're in this state of contraction often, like that's our dominant state, it's a really shitty feeling and we really want to move away from it. However, we don't want to come to terms that we even feel contracted. So a lot of the practices that we do, right, unconscious practices or habits are serving the distraction. So what are we doing? We're escaping. We find different forms of escape on our phone. We're always hanging out with friends. We're always, just not in our own energy. We always find a reason or a way to not sit in stillness. Like we freaking take our phones to the bathroom. Okay? What the heck? I get it. Like we have to post and we have to keep up and with all the trends and stuff. But look, It's just a way of escape. And that's okay. It doesn't mean you're a bad or good person. However, this is kind of like the game that keeps us stuck in this cyclical loop of not really evolving past our limitations, right? So see it as a closed loop. Your ego wants to keep you safe and keep you small, so it's not going to really allow in that space. It's going to keep you wanting to go hang out with friends or go watch this movie or just distract somehow, always seeking external. And then we go to the second phase where we're kind of getting into more of an awakening and more of a healthy lifestyle. And maybe we are starting to go to yoga and we're starting to appreciate self-love practices. And then we're like researching. We're listening to the people and the masters and all of this stuff. And we're just consuming all this information. And that's a great stage to be in. It's really exciting and it can bring you so much. However, you're still not fully seeking within, right? And that's kind of the phase that I got stuck on for a few years. And I'm trying to remember if there was a pivot point for me where I finally realized it's not about going to yoga. It's not about going to an astrologist or a great healer. And yes, those things are all great. Going to a ceremony, even having the high vibe conversations, right? All of those things are golden. And my greatest wish for you is that you attract that into your life. However, we often miss the key element of just being alone with ourselves. And it doesn't even have to look like meditation, a structured meditation, right? It can. You can set a timer, or you can sit and breathe. Or it can just simply be more time spent alone, more time spent in your energy. And ding, 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 here's a big one, more time creating. What are you creating? I want you to ask yourself that question because it's so valid. We come from a very consumption-based society, especially if you see on Facebook, on Instagram, you're scrolling. We're just consuming content. What about creation? And it can look like anything. Recently, I bought colored pencils and I've just been coloring and I've just been making silly pictures. The other night, I drew this picture of what my ideal world would look like and I taped it to my wall. Bring it back to play and creation. And, even talking to yourself, like what I'm doing on this podcast. However, I'm actually talking to you guys. But this is a form of creation too, just exercising the voice. What can you do to create? That's going to help you become more high vibe. And so is play, right? So enjoy whatever you're doing, find enjoyment with it, and try to schedule in time where you're in your own sacred energy. I cannot drive this home enough, especially as a traveler, right? I've traveled the world this past year, and I'm so grateful to have done that. And I've met amazing, amazing people along the way. And it's very easy to go out all the time trying to connect with people because you don't have a sense of home. So you try to find a sense of community. And we can talk about that on a later podcast. However, you have to be really aware of coming back to yourself, especially if you're feeling like you're lonely and you want to do the whole escapism thing. That's actually your shadow talking to you, and it's your inner child, and it's saying, please listen to me. I have so much wisdom for you, and that's why I'm talking, and that's why you can feel me, and that's why you're uncomfortable. Anytime we're uncomfortable, it's asking us to go deeper. Our body knows. Our body is so very smart. It's smarter than our heads, smarter than our minds for sure. Drop into the body. If you feel any sense of like ickiness or any type of running urge, sit with it, figure it out, and then think about if it's making you feel contracted or expansive, right? Those are the next two things I want to talk about, contraction and expansion. For so long, I was living so contracted, so wound. It caused me worry. It caused me anxiety, a ton of stress, a lot of shit was manifesting that I didn't want in my life. I was just acting from a place of fear. And I think that that is like 90% of people's like baseline. We're operating from survival mode. I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do that anymore. We are in a society and a day and age where we can thrive. Point blank, we can thrive. We have everything that we need, right? The universe, Mama Gaia, Pachamama provides for us. However, if you hold the belief that you're never going to have enough, that you're going to be in survival mode, etc., that's what your ego will create for you. Do you see how important it is to befriend your ego? Now that we're talking about this, right? It all ties back in. This is where subconscious reprogramming comes in. This is where the daily practices are so essential. This is where support is essential. Accountability. We're trying to eat an elephant. Have you ever heard that phrase? I don't know. Why would you want to eat an elephant? That sounds so gross. Elephants are our friends. Anyway, yeah. So it's a lot. We're biting off more than we can chew by trying to reprogram like one and done. So many people I know that are like, I went to an ayahuasca ceremony. I'm really happy that you're working with this shaman. And what are you doing every single day to create a better life, to reprogram your subconscious mind? How are you speaking to yourself? Are you creating a relationship with a higher source, right? You don't have to say the word God. I know that's got a weird connotation for a lot of people. You can say universe. You can say source. You can say higher self. You can say the light within, right? But you got to put your trust in something. That's the whole spiel. Put your trust in something. For someone to have faith, you got to have faith in something. So I would get crystal clear on what you want to call it and put your faith there and start a relationship with it. I talk to a lot of clients who say all of this spiritual stuff and all of their self-growth and everything that they're doing. And when I ask them, okay, well, have you talked to the universe or have you talked to your source today? They stop in their tracks and they're dumbfounded because they never thought to do that. This is like square one. And I didn't have this for a long time. Like my path was a long and windy road, but somewhere I came into this realization of why am I not just speaking directly to source? And a lot changed for me when that happened. I really was able to expand. I really was able to let go of a lot of stuff that was sitting in the body, sitting in the mind, like energetic parasites, and start to feel better because I made my intention and I made myself crystal clear. The universe delivers. It hears you. If you're speaking out loud, that stuff is very, very, very powerful. It's potent, right? Like I would not have gotten to the point where I am right now if I didn't create some form of relationship with my higher source. It's as simple as that. So let's wrap it up. The key points here are just to remember to find your alignment through creating relationship with a higher source. Go easy on yourself. This is a journey. And it can be fun and it can be playful. And you still get to have colored pencils and crayons even though you're an adult. In fact, you need it more. So get your sticker book out. Whoever told you need to grow up and be an adult, they don't know what that means. Let's redefine what it means to be an adult. Go out and play and go have fun. Do the things that make you feel expanded. Find the people that make you feel expanded, right? Find your sacred alone time, your sacred source of alone time. Be in your own energy because, babe, it is the most powerful way you are going to receive downloads, receive inspiration, find the power inside of yourself and find the energy to create. That is where so much magic happens. So go off, try it. Let me know if any of this resonated and where you want to hear more. Make sure to share the love and send this podcast to someone you know who could benefit. Also, I'm giving away my online course for free to a lucky winner. So if you want your chance to win that, go and leave a 5-star review. You are so supported. You are so loved. You are already whole. And you are divine. Talk to you soon.